We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Hello, and welcome to the Nerd Eternal Network. Today we are playing our Icons actual play, the Primes. I'll be your game master, Jason, and with me as usual will be Mike as Transmuter.
Hello.
Curtis as Sethagua. Oh, so close that time.
Hola.
I've been practicing and everything. Zach as Helios.
Howdy.
And Taylor as Puppet.
Howdy.
I think next season I'll see if I can come up with an even harder name.
Just do what Lovecraft did and just do random syllables.
I mean, just think of Sethagua the Cthulhu monster. Or however you pronounce that. The frog.
Alright. Let's see. So last session, y'all fought a giant Boyd.
We did.
Garnering for your team international fame. As you saved Barcelona, Spain. Though they now have a giant monster sleeping in their ocean, just off the coast.
I mean, it's a good tourist site.
Just
Ooh, I bet-
don't make a lot of noise.
I bet their Coast Guard's gonna have to set up, or Navy, whatever they've got over there. We'll have to set up stuff to keep tourists away. Now I think about it. All right. So it's been a couple of weeks since then. You've been investigating a rash of thefts and attacks. Someone is using. Sorry, just taking the overlay. Someone is using robots. While they're advanced, they've got kind of a retro design to them. There was an old Primus villain named Professor Mechaniacal. And they seem to kind of match up with his style of work. Though no one has seen or heard from him in a couple of decades at least. Obviously, your handler is very interested in this investigation.
Did it look like it was someone using leftovers, or do they look like brand spanking new robots?
Based off the eyewitness reports and what footage you've got of some of the attacks, they appear to be new. None of them look like scuffed up or used or refurbished or anything like that.
Are they displaying any capabilities not previously seen?
Some of the weaponry is a little different, but the truth is, almost every time Mechanical showed up, he had upgraded his equipment. So,
Respectable.
he had a fairly baseline. Like you would always look at one of his and recognize kind of the aesthetic of it. He had his most of his bots had a look to them. But they might show up with different armaments or, modifications for a specific job or, He was very active in the 50s and 60s. And then he started kind of fading, he stopped being as active in the 70s, but he popped up once or twice in the 80s, and then, from the 90s on, nobody has really seen him. The general consensus was he probably just, gotten old.
It would have to be.
And now he's found a way to make himself a robot.
Did he have any known family or relations?
Nobody knows who he was.
Ah, okay.
Now your I've got to write her name down. I keep blanking on her name, and it's embarrassing.
Sharon?
Yes, thank you.
Grandma niece.
Grandma niece. See, grandma niece I can always remember, and then I completely blank on her name. You know, I know her last name is Masters. I remember that. But that first name, maybe I should have given her a weirder name so I'd remember. But yeah, Sharon tells you, her mother met him one time. Her mother got kidnapped and held hostage by him one time. And she's not sure. Considering Mechaniacal had figured out who the Primus was, she's not sure why that only happened the one time. Though apparently he was a very considerate host while he had her mother.
Dastardly ones always are.
And that was back in the 50. She's like, I think that was back in like 58 or so. Her mother was either a senior in high school or had just graduated or something. But yeah, he has not been seen. And now you've had a rush of, some banks have been hit, some high-tech research firms. There was one spear installation that got hit. Specifically, the spear installation was one that, stored confiscated technologies.
I don't like that particular path.
Yeah, it was not the it was not the facility that holds the doomsday weapons. Quote unquote.
How many doomsday weapons do they have?
10 or 12. She's like, most of them were probably city destruction level at worst, but. And of course, the ones they feel they can safely disassemble, they disassemble. But you start dealing with some people's weird science, and it's just not safe to touch it.
So this opens a black hole in what part of the human body?
Well, some of them are booby trapped. Some of them are just some of them just seem to defy the laws of physics, and nobody has any idea how they actually work.
Seth will start humming Tool's Anima.
But this was one that tends to have your generic energy weapons, your things like robots. There was some of Maniacal's old stuff stored here. That wasn't what they stole, but some of it was there.
Well, even a bunch of zappy pistols in the hands of mooks can be a pain in the butt. Or if he's trying to flip them to make bank, that's still going to be an issue because now there's energy weapons out on the street.
So did they tell us what was taken if they didn't take Maniacal stuff?
Kind of miscellaneous robots and drones and stuff. From a variety of organizations and villains. Some weaponry that was just laying, some of the just kind of generic weaponry that was laying around.
Even if it's older, I would have thought maniacal stuff would have been higher on the list.
Well, maybe he only looks at the now. Never look back. It distracts from the now. Or maybe he's wanting, could be that he's wanting to fill in gaps, stuff he hasn't invented, fill in gaps. There was some stealth technology taken. There was the she struggles with the name for a second. The Red Ghost, I think it was. He was a villain in like the tail end of the 40s and into the mid to like the mid 50s. Once he was thought to be a Soviet agent at first. Once he was caught, they found out the Soviet agent thing was just him throwing people off his trail. He was just a thief. But he had an invisibility harness that he wore up under the red cloaks he wore.
I respect the gimmick. Like, there's some layers to that.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the invisibility harness gave off radiation, so.
Oh, that's
So now.
Yeah, so he did not have a long career. What was that, Curtis?
Now the Red Ghost is a ghost.
She's like, yes. So it's not a harness anybody want to wear. On the other hand, if you were going to strap it to robots,
Well, actually, radiation in robots would eventually cause a problem, but you could just change it out to another robot.
Or put the proper shielding on the robot. Or somebody of Mechanical's genius might be able to take that flawed prototype and turn it into something, more generally usable. She sure would like to have something like that for the sedan.
I mean, if we run across it in the investigation, we'll pass it along to Grandma Niece.
So anyway, she's had y'all scrambling out to scenes for the last couple of weeks. But they've been doing, it's been like, they've been doing lightning strikes, basically. They get in quick, they get their stuff, they get back out. So you've mostly been showing up kind of after the fact. One thing that has been different this time is while there has been a drone there broadcasting Maniacal's voice, as he monologues, essentially. He has not made any personal appearances. Where a lot of times back in the day, he would show up in powered armor, that was motifed a lot like his drones. Only occasionally did he try to really take on the Primus.
Well, I mean, you do it once, you've done it 100 times.
Well,
If it beats you bad enough, you really go, I'm gonna wait till I got something real special to try this dumb nonsense again.
Yeah, and Sharon just kind of, it got to the point that you could tell when he was planning to, because when he'd show up, it'd be in a bulkier than usual suit. But I think his record was like 3.5 minutes toe to toe.
I mean, that's not bad.
Oh no, it's not bad at all. He was boasting about that in his next few monologues. He was definitely one of those villains that you got the impression that he was in it as much for the game as anything. She goes, You used to get a lot of those. Because let's face it, if you're rich enough to build a robot army, you're probably rich enough not to need to bust into banks. until after you spent your fortune building a robot army. But anyway, so that's what y'all have been doing for the last couple of weeks, and it's been all over the news. Pretty much any time some old villain comes out of retirement, it's a big deal briefly. And people are theorizing if maybe he's chosen now to come back. Well, so many of Earth's heroes are off in space. There's some people asking, when the Primes are going to do something about it. And of course, they've got footage of you showing up at some of the attacks, after the fact. The Oxford Commando has had a few sharp words to Transmuter. Yeah, your team's really good in a fight. You got to work on your investigation skills, though. Though I'm not sure that's really something the Commando would teach or not.
There'd
be other heroes.
I'm assuming he does that on a one-on-one, not when the rest of the team's around.
That's a good question. Has he tried to horn in on the group trainings?
He has probably offered to help Sharon, but he wouldn't get too pushy.
Interesting. That's a
And
credit to Sharon.
and he's not going to criticize her in front of the rest of the team, I'm assuming.
No. Now, just around Transmuter, he's probably mentioned a time or two, that she should really bring in some outside experts, or or he's worried that her training might be a little too soft.
Because I can see Seth. Investigate this.
Oh no, wait, you're British. This.
What? That he's such a well-mannered young man.
He'd probably offer to spar Seth. But,
yeah, I've always assumed that even though he's no longer, certainly not at his peak, I think he's retained enough so that he could at least hold his own in a fight, even with a whippersnapper.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he's always envisioned it. That's certainly how his reputation is. Whether that's true, I guess that's of course up to Jason, but I think that's just how I've always envisioned his ability. It could be all bluff and intimidation.
And riding on his previous reputation.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure he's not. He's definitely oddly fit for his age. Absolutely.
Oh, he could definitely whip anybody his age.
I mean, he could still get around and fully fine on his own and all that. Mm-hmm. That right there. Because he's got to be let's see, if he was in his 20s and the 40s. Yeah, he would be. Yeah, he'd definitely be a century old or.
Oh yeah,
roundabout.
Yeah, I am picturing him as a super soldier type, so his aging is probably retarded slightly.
Mm-hmm.
It's he don't live forever or nothing, but
And whether or not he's in costume, he always wears the domino mask,
mm-hmm.
even if he's just in civvies. He probably does the tucked-in T-shirt and fatigue pants sort of thing, or at least whatever the British do. that whatever the British equivalent of that would be.
But yeah, so it's maybe a few minor things that can be taken as criticisms on Sharon. Because he has a lot of respect for her grandfather, and knows that she has been in the business. She has not been a costume, but that she's kind of been in the business helping her grandfather for a long time. So it's not like she's a complete amateur.
Yeah. Well, certainly Transmuter remains impressed that Sharon's able to keep him at arm's distance.
Impressed or relieved?
Both. Now that you mention.
Oh, it's a weekend. It's a weekend with the brothers. Oh, it's a break from the commando.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh, all right. So, are there any strategies that your characters would think of to try and track this guy down, to head him off of the pass, to what would you all want to do?
Is there any sort of pattern? Like, is he hitting things in a line, like he's moving across the country, or is it just sporadic where they're being hit?
It's all been West Coast targets right now.
All right, so it's strictly so far only on the West Coast. Has it been random spots on the West Coast, or state by state?
There's been a smattering of targets kind of up and down the California coast.
Okay.
He has hit Seattle. A few of the robots were recovered from Seattle because Dynaman, Indispensable. What is her name? Taylor, help me out. What was Dynaman's fiance's name?
Uh-oh.
You don't
Oh,
remember
no. I'm not sure I wrote her name down anywhere.
Is this a hero? Another hero?
Heroine, yes.
She's Knockout Queen. But I don't remember her real name.
Well, Knockout Queen would be what would be in the news, So the three of them intercepted, or not intercepted, but they got to the scene because Seattle's their hometown. They got to the scene.
In the issues of Dynaman family, no doubt.
So yeah, they showed up there.
Well, hold on. She's fiance. She's not Dynaman family yet. Calm down. Let's not go throwing insults out.
But yeah, she was a superhero that had been at least semi-retired. But she's popped back up pretty active recently. Often working with either Dynaman or Indispensable.
I should probably bring up now that one of my characters next that I have not deployed yet is Contacts.
Okay.
Which I know people who owe or are willing to help out in any new situation. I may know someone who can help, if appropriate for my background, or if I can come up with a story for it.
Okay.
Really, that's just the thing I can do in any new situation. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know a guy. You've always got the potential to know a guy.
Yeah, and usually it's because my character's mother knows a guy, knows a person,
and it's probably intentionally helped you network within the super community,
absolutely.
Or useful.
So that's probably the biggest reason why. That's definitely the biggest reason why the Oxford Commando even got into my training in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to deploy that, that's an available option.
Okay.
Apart from what other brilliant ideas would come up with.
I like that. Whatever other brilliant ideas, and then there's just complete silence.
Brilliant is not currently on the plate of things I can bring.
These high-tech research firms, has there been any particular field? Or is it all like robotics?
Mostly robotics. A couple of the firms specialized in, or at least the facilities that were hit, specialized in like exotic energy research, like trying to find alternative power sources. One of them was trying to find a way to tap into like background radiation as a power source. Some of them are just trying to come up with smaller and smaller kind of fusion reactor kind of stuff.
Have any companies maybe tried reaching out for protection, or are they just like basically keeping themselves, trying to still rely on their own internal security?
If you check around, some of them have been inquiring about, well, most of that kind of firms on the West Coast have been jacking up security around their facilities, of course. A few of them have been putting out feelers to try to find, superpowered individuals that they could hire, or convince to kind of patrol, around them more. A few of them have flat out hired superpowered mercenaries. Mercenaries that are not like, currently wanted by the U.S. government. They may be questionable, but they're not actually, don't actually have any warrants out for them.
Could we acquire lists of what's been stolen from the victimized organizations so far? Because I wonder if we could get that information, perhaps we could kind of like reverse engineer what the end goal is of what's trying to be built with the stolen components, and maybe that could give a clue as to who that may be or where we might find them.
Or we could Scooby-Doo it and say, oh, there just so happens to be a robotic expo in town.
Well, that would be awfully convenient if there was any particularly juicy target that hasn't already been hit. Or events like what Curtis mentioned.
Okay, give me would this be knowledge? No, give me a willpower roll as you're networking with people and talking with people.
Who should be making this?
I see a kitty cat.
That's Swifty. Okay, so willpower roll.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Well, I have one rank in science. I don't know if that would be applicable because it's more of a networking thing. But anyway, here comes a willpower roll.
Okay. Let me roll you a difficulty for that. All right, 5 is the number to beat. Oh, well, you got an 8. All right. So you start calling around to some folks involved in the high tech. Maybe retired tech heroes, or people that work support staff for a techie hero. And you find out there is indeed a what he calls a secret con. It's not like they publicize it or like well, any of y'all that have read or watched Sandman, you remember the serial convention? It's kind of like that, but less creepy and murdery. It's disguised as something else. So yeah, there is basically a convention of like super science guys. It's not just robots specifically, but there's lots of robots and powered armor and drone type stuff. A lot of retired heroes and current heroes. Generally, the current heroes would be a little occupied at the moment, but
Wonder if Willie-Jig would be there.
it's probably the sort of place he'd want to go. I don't know. And if he knew about it, he could get a ride, cross country.
Yeah, probably be the toughest part.
You know, and there's a few of your high-tech companies that will have representatives there. Because after all, yeah, okay, you're building pseudo armor. Well, yeah, you could invent your own mechanical musculature for the armor, or you could just buy this over here.
Right. Yeah, off the shelf components.
And your contact is telling you, you know, usually the con isn't that worried about extra security because there's usually quite a few heroes there. But hero attendance is a little bit sparser this year because, you know, whatever it is going on in space. I keep making vague comments like that, but Mukboot's message back to Earth was pretty plain on what was going on. So dealing with the war out in space then. But yeah, so you gotta figure out that there is something like that going on that is a potential target.
Oh, that sounds like the place to go.
We can scope it out. We don't want to scoop it out.
Unless they had
We
some
do
really
it
good stuff.
undercover or just as ourselves? I mean, none of us are particularly sciencey.
I will take that insult with stride.
Oh, that's right. You're a programmer. Oh, you're
I
in.
was gonna be a doctor.
Oh, wait. Well, which
I'm
just
the
stand there.
computer
I was
programmer.
gonna be a doctor.
Oh,
You can feel the sadness.
oh no.
You could still be a doctor soon. I mean, you are healing and things are starting to come back.
I don't
right?
need to be a doctor anymore. I can just magically close wounds.
That is true.
I was going to be a doctor, now I'm going to be a fate healer.
Transmuter apologizes.
It's okay. I will
but yeah.
eventually move past it.
But yeah, y'all could probably get admittance just as heroes, especially if you offer to do security. You could go in disguise. You could all pretend to be mad scientists, and that, you know, Puppet is the body you put together.
Oh.
Just put him in a wig or
Ignore
something, so
man.
he's not, so people don't recognize him.
Quick, someone come up with a nifty acronym for Puppet.
People United post participation. Nah, I can't get it. I can't make one. It'll take me a minute.
Too many words, or too many letters, I mean.
Too many P's. Oh, let's see.
Sounds like a thing a 7-year-old me would say at dinner.
I mean, if you drop one of the P's and the E, you still get puppet. It's just, you know, not the conventional spelling, and you can, you know, let it fly because it's an acronym. It's supposed to
People
look
keep
and
calling us
sound.
Poopit.
Purposely undead people. Perpetually.
Purposely undead sounds like we killed someone to make it.
No. They were already dead. You just purposely made them undead. Let's see. Purposely undead people. Practicing etiquette techniques. So it's like a zombie. It's going to be like a zombie butler, maybe? I don't know. Acronyms are hard. My favorite line about something like that is still from the first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, right.
When one of them rattles off what the acronym stands for. What does that tell you? That somebody really wanted to use the word shield. So yeah, y'all could go in, you know, how do you want to go into this?
honestly, the plan of going in disguise as mad scientists is probably the best option. We just need to write up a script for bullshit explaining how we, you know, have a sentient zombie. You know, we can keep it kind of vague. You know, it's proprietary necro technology and stuff like
I get to be Igor.
Wasn't your hump on the other side?
it's more of a boil that shifts around under the skin.
I would
No,
like
no,
to
no.
state
That was a young Frankenstein reference. Wasn't your hunch on the
I'm
other side?
very
What hunch?
confused as to why we would attempt to break in to a superhero protected conference for the sake of stopping a break-in to a superhero division.
Well, now I'm not assuming that you're sneaking in. You're getting permission to be there. You're just there in disguise.
Yeah.
If there's the prems,
All
we
right,
could.
that is much
We want
more
to ward off.
understandable.
We
We're
don't
just
want to
not-
ward off theft attempts. We just want.
We're
to,
just not painting giant arrows to ourselves, saying security.
Neutralize these ones first. That is the thing we don't want over our head.
All right, so Sharon is mildly amused by your plan.
I'll get a butler uniform ready.
I mean, you don't have to go as a butler. We could just get you a t-shirt and slacks. Saying we're still working on a spillage.
I don't think Puppet leaks anymore.
Don't keep him
Parts
from
of me have
spilling
sealed up.
actual things. Not seepage. Just fine motor control is still a minor.
It's just a proof of concept,
Yeah.
not perfect.
I
Now-
donate my body to science to be a proof of concept. I mean, sorry, sir. Do you need another beverage?
All right, so you get permission from the con to be there. They're not 100% sure on why the undercover aspect of it, but hey, as long as you'll be there. And if you tell them you suspect they'll be attacked, then so you get invited in, you get a little booth set up. A lot of people come by. The first day of the con, a lot of people are coming by to talk to you. And when they realize you're basically making undead butlers, they start giving you a wider
Wider berth.
because this
Even-
is
even-
generally more
even when
hero
we-
oriented, and that does not sound very hero-y.
Even when we demonstrate the many uses of an undead butler.
I mean, they're virtually kidnap proof. Not that they can't be.
Only
kidnapped,
so
but-
many organs the human body needs to function in an undead state.
You get the impression some of them are kind of looking at you like, okay, they're not villains yet. But I'm going to remember these faces.
Look, to be fair, they think they're doing good work. And also, to be fair, happy to not be dead. This isn't the best way to not be dead, but I am happy to not be dead.
Now, there is one guy that's like super into talking to you.
There's always one.
But gradually he loses interest because the more you talk, it's like the more he's realizing this may be BS. Some kind of con artist. That's not how you reanimate a body. So that's clearly a body that's been reanimated, so they...
Now, the how is not important. It's what they can do. Now see, watch this. Hey, dead brother, get me a beer.
You reanimated your brother? That's dedication.
No, that's just his code name.
Yeah, for no, I'm trying to think of an acronym for brother. It's,
Do they serve beer here, or am I gonna have to walk outside?
There's probably a refreshment area that would.
I'm gonna have to go to the concession stand. Are you all right with that?
Yeah, bring me back one.
Or I go walk off to get 2 beers.
Oh, I hand him a fistful of cash.
Thank you, sir.
And it's like, see, you're not seeing the big picture here.
No, hold on. I would like to take a time out here. I'm just doing this to be nice. I'm not being compelled to do this.
Oh, you've got free will. The guy at the talking at the booth. Oh, so you've got free will.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
working on that.
No, that's a lot less useful. And that's when he turns around and walks off.
working on that.
Helios is gonna take out his phone real quick and just like take several photos of him very, very quickly whenever he's not looking. We need to save this space. He may be an issue later.
He's not a supervillain yet. The exact thing everyone is saying about us in this moment.
Do you still go and get Seth a beer?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they both wanted a drink. I'll go
All right.
get him a drink. I'm not rude.
Oh, I don't think sales is in my future.
But as you're getting a drink, some guys roll in with big wooden crates on hand carts. They struggle into the convention area. They set the crates down, and then the top of the crates push off, and what you're assuming are robots step out of the crates, but they've got like a tarp draped over them. And they form up and they wait for somebody, walks out in front of them and kind of orders them to follow him, and then they start following. You realize the crates were probably how they got him into the building without people outside seeing that something weird was going on. Because this is being hosted in a fairly large little civic center sort of place, so it's they've got the entire building locked down with just their people kind of running stuff. So Puppet, give me a awareness.
Oh, you're about to be surprised. I'd like to use my super senses instead of my awareness.
All right, what do your super senses do?
It's just enhanced sight, enhanced hearing.
How many ranks of that do you have?
Rank 2.
And that's better than your awareness.
My awareness is a rank 1.
Oh.
I remember that. Yeah.
I tell you what, roll plus 3. Basically, it's like the best of those two plus 1 for using the other one, because your enhanced senses would help with this. I mean, obviously.
You know what? I'll just roll a 6 and make it irrelevant.
Okay. I had rolled a 1 on the dice, so I had a total. So the total difficulty was a 4. So 9. So you beat it by 5, so that's a massive success.
Should be the only one I ever make with awareness.
Well, you can potentially roll a 6. Well, difficulty's a lot of times a bit higher. Anyway. So with the tarps over the robots, you can't make out much about them. What you do make out as they walk by is the guy leading them. One, he's wearing sunglasses inside. Which, to be fair, you've got a lot of computer nerds and robotics nerds running around here trying to be cool. So that's not all that unusual. But as he walks by and you see his profile, the eyes up under the glasses that are like looking around are definitely not human eyes. Or I should say not organic eyes.
So the one giving orders could potentially be not human.
The one giving orders, and as you watch the body language as he keeps walking, the one giving orders you're starting to think may be a robot in like a people suit. I mean, not a Silence of the Lambs people suit, like, disguised as a person.
Like a Mission Impossible thing.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and go over the communications that we may have an intruder. And I give the location out because if we have permission to be here as super secret security, I'm connected to security somehow.
Yes. You'd have gotten your comms, or you've been given the frequency that the more mundane security guys here are using.
Yeah. So you're asking for a confirmation of these literally crates of robots that just came in this area.
One of the security guys comes over. Yeah, he's not he's going through the paperwork trying to figure out who it could be. They've still got a couple of stragglers, coming in to set up.
I'll go get a name.
All right, keep us posted.
I'll walk up and ask,
As you're stepping away, as you started talking about, we may have an intruder, this, that, the other. The guy bringing you the beers is just standing there watching you. Do you still want the beers?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. I hand him the money.
He puts it in the register. You know what? I think I'm going to take me a break, and he heads out the door.
And I'll walk up to the guy giving directions. I'm sorry, sir. Most all participants in this event have arrived. Can I get a name? Make sure you're on the list.
He looks you up and down. Pauses for a second. We're simply running a little late.
That's not an answer.
That is a very strange name, sir. As one artificial unit to another, you may want to ask for another name.
Artificial? I don't know what you're talking about.
Unfortunately, I do. Now I'm going to have to ask for a name. For this
As you're saying
robot
this,
coming
the robots in the white tarps are like spreading out around you.
Yeah, we have them non-conforming to name and spreading out into what appears to be an assault formation. I would like to have at least one other person come down here.
He's already making his way down.
As you say that, I'm going to refer to the robots under the tarps as the robots, and the one disguised as human as an android, just so we can distinguish them. Yeah, the android's hand comes up and starts like expanding out into a weapon.
So you see, when I said artificial, I meant like you look like a person, but clearly that's not a human thing. I'm also holding 2 beers. Please don't shoot me.
A voice comes over, where the guy had been talking, not quite monotone. To your ears, it sounded like, like those text-to-speech apps. But one that was pretty good. But the voice that comes over now, it's a different voice, and it's much more like a normal person. Modulated slightly, but wow, that disguise did not work well at all. and then goes initiate the fire sale. And then he's going to try to shoot you.
That's unfortunate for both of us.
So if everybody would go ahead and give me a coordination.
Is this for initiative or is this a whole?
This is for initiative. This is specifically for
Yay.
initiative.
Back sixes. I'm so not the fastest person here.
Everybody's rolling sixes, right? Okay.
Oh wait.
Well,
Roll 20's just being roll 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
Aw, damn it, Curtis. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, I've got to re-roll mine because I did not adjust his.
I missed out on the sixes.
Wow, I rolled the same thing even after the adjustment.
Yeah.
All right, so. Oh, but I can't use that first one for the robots. All right, so the robots and the android going to 9. And then we have got Helios on a 10. Transmuter on an 11. Was that 7 yours, Taylor?
7's mine.
I've got A7. Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, so you and Curtis have 7s. All right. Who's got the higher coordination?
Curtis.
Well, we only got 3.
So Seth and then Puppet. Is that everybody? Let's see. Transmuter, Helios, Android, Robot, Seth, Puppet. Yeah, that's it. Okay. We're going to treat this. Okay. Oh well. So you get the comm that Puppet's wanting at least one other person. And you hear what that guy said over Puppet's comm. So all of you that are not out there, over in kind of the 4-year refreshment area, are you headed that direction?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So effectively, this round, y'all are all moving out there. So we will let the androids and Puppet have it. Basically, androids and Puppet will have a round. And then we'll hit initiative order like normal as the rest of you are arriving on scene. Alright, so the android is taking a shot with its gun arm. So it only got a 5.
I got a 3.
Alright, so it hits you. It does 4 points of damage.
Just a hole appears in my shoulder. I just look at him. Oh man, it's gonna take like 2 weeks for that to come back.
Let's see. Then the robots, they all pull off the tarps. It is the maniacal styled robots. Two of them are going to try to grab Puppet, basically one by each arm. So they are basically assisting each other, so it'll be one roll. Let's see, their prowess is a 4. +2 for one of them helping. And grappling is still prowess, I believe. Yes, of course it is. Okay. So they got a 7.
And I immediately rolled and got a 9.
So you managed to avoid the two of them grabbing you.
They weren't ready for them slick dead man oils on my body.
Are you still holding the beer, though? I'm
Do I
asking
need
for.
to make a? Do I
I'm
have to
I'm
make a
asking you for
roll
Seth.
that? I'm certainly trying to keep holding them.
Okay. So yeah, you just kind of tuck them in close to your chest, weave. And then it is Puppet's turn.
I'll go ahead and get my aura cut on and get going. So the next time something tries to touch me, it will hurt it.
Okay. Well, no, the next time it successfully touches you.
Yeah. And I will I'll stand there and go, pardon me for just a moment, sir. And I'll look for the nearest table to set the 2 beers on so they don't get ruined.
There's the table where they hand out the name tags close by.
Yeah, I'll set the 2 beers and then down and start walking back towards the android.
All right, then top of the order as the rest of y'all get there. Transmuter, you are first on the scene.
Okay.
You get there just in time to see Puppet setting the beers down and then turning around and walking back towards the. And the rest of the robots, the two of the, there are 5 robots in total. The 3 that did not grab, were not trying to grab Puppet. They also pulled the tarps off and are like heading into or headed towards the convention area. At a decent clip, I mean.
So there are 2 robots who had just tried to grab Puppet, and then there's 3 more that are heading in deeper into the convention area.
Right.
Okay.
You are if you keep going, you will basically be walking past them. Y'all are right, approaching each other basically.
Gotcha. I would like to target one of those 3 with my transmuting powers and try to turn its legs and basically evaporate its legs.
Okay. Let's see. Transmutation. What does that... I want to say active, kind of character things get some kind of resistance to that, but what was it?
Yeah, usually in the past, when I've tried to transform something, you've had me make a coordination test to target any kind of potentially moving target.
Okay. All right, then they will resist with their coordination. Or try to dodge, basically.
Yeah, basically. So...
Their coordination is a 4.
This will be a targeted transmutation roll.
All right, so that is a... All right, so you beat it by 2. So yeah, one of them...
sorry. I think I might, if it's okay, I might want to just evaporate the whole thing as much of it as possible, because in case it has any hidden lasers up its sleeve or anything like that.
Okay, and you got 8 ranks of that power, if I remember right.
9. So
9. That's right.
Yeah, certainly unless it's like some kind of, barring any funky circumstances, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
As long as I can hit it.
Weird super materials or something might give you some trouble, but.
Right.
So yeah, you just turn this one into oxygen or something. So by all appearances, it just disappears. And we had said there was some kind of slightly visible effect when you use your powers. I forget exactly what we had said it was.
I've mentioned glowing eyes.
Okay. So the other 2 robots kind of, I'm going to say you vaporize the middle one. The 2 on either side kind of look at each other, or where the space where their buddy was, and then look back at you as your eyes are just starting to fade. You may have their undivided attention now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't doubt that they know who was responsible for that.
But Helios is coming up right behind you.
Alright, I'm going to just charge in and lay into the one on the left, to the left of the one she made.
Okay.
9 to hit.
Helios using an anti-robot combo. Sometimes I think you guys enjoy being able to name your rolls a little too much.
Maybe just a little. Maybe just a little.
All right.
I have
So
seen shooting a bow, but slutty. Before.
I don't even want to know. I'm not judging. I just don't want to know. All right.
To be fair, I also used with Rigajig. I had one that was called Goop That Metal.
That's his name. I got your name wrong before.
It's chill.
All right. So that was a 9 to hit. He gets a 10. Thanks to a
Good roll.
6. Thanks to a 6 on the dice. All right. So he just does get out of the way. Then it is the android. And you hear that voice that's being broadcast through the android. Basically swear, and then say, you know, I thought all the heroes were in space.
We're not heroes, we're researchers!
I'm a hunk of meat.
And the voice seems to be kind of mumbling. You know, it's like they're mumbling to themselves, and it's just being picked up by whatever mic they've got. On how he needs that .009 nanometer process. The android, however, is acting independent, other than also acting as a speaker. And he is going to try to shoot you again.
That's just rude.
So it is a 9 to hit you. You being puppy.
Oh, my apologies. Wait, a 9? Oh, goodness.
To hit, yes.
Yeah, I'm hit.
The dice roller is liking me right now. Though I did get 2 1s in a row. Around
So that's another 4 points.
That's another 4 points.
I drop to the floor.
So you see Puppet riddled with bullets. Thump.
Did you say bullets?
Yes, the android's gun arm is a gun.
Oh, it's a gun
It's
arm.
just
It's
a
old
gun.
school. It's an old school gun.
Gotcha.
I don't like that.
Yes. Tell my unconscious body how much you don't like the bullets. I'm sure I'll feel the same.
Next up are the robots. The one Helios took a swing at is going to take a swing at Helios. It got a 7 to hit you.
And I reread the rules and realized I can use my martial arts skill to also defend.
Oh, can you?
Yes!
That
It
does make
makes sense. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that was part of the reason why, Recluse was so hard to hit.
You may be right. You may be right. Yeah, because acrobatics also doubles for defense against rain. Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Alright, so you got a 9. Alright, so you beat him by 2, so you avoid him. But you don't get a major or massive, so you don't, you don't wind up with, like, the advantage on your next attack. The other one that's up there with you is going to step forward and take a swing at Transmuter. Ooh, max roll. So that's a 10 to hit.
Not a max roll.
I would like to interpose if I'm still able to.
You may do so.
Alright.
Now, I think, does that use your action for next round?
I believe it uses my move action. But no, you're right. You're right. I'm basically burning next turn to stop to take that hit.
Okay. All right. So you get to make your defense roll like usual. Or not like usual. You get to make your defense roll. But I want to say the attacker gets a +2 on it.
Yeah.
So that's now a 12 you're rolling against.
And thank you.
And you got a 12, so that's a tie. Does half damage. Their strength is a 6, so you take 3 points, which I'm pretty sure you're
Completely ignore that.
you bounce that. And that leads. That was the 2. All right, so that's the two back that were trying to grapple Puppet. Since Puppet is no longer an issue to their minds, they immediately turn and rush forward to help their brothers. So both of these guys are charging Helios. They are going to, much like they were doing with Puppet, they're going to assist each other trying to grapple. So Helios, you got 2 robots basically trying to jump on you and pin you. So it's a +6 for them.
Ooh, just beat that one.
Oh, just barely. We both got max rolls, but that came out to a 13 for Helios and a 12 for the robots. So yeah, they're all over you, but you've trained for this. Multiple opponents, bang. You managed to kind of keep them pushed back off of you. That's all the robots. Seth, you're coming up on scene now.
Yeah. Which one knocked Puppet down or knocked Puppet out?
That would be the android, the one that looks at a distance. He looks human, except one of his hands has basically exploded out into like a gun arm.
Okay.
And of course,
I
convention
guess-
goers are scattering to the 4 winds.
I am gonna jump him with my Shadow Strike. I was gonna do something different, but since he knocked out Dead Brother,
Okay.
something like leave Dead Brother alone. And
So you run past Not Dead Brother and Sis, who look like they're handling things.
right.
Nice.
Ooh, that is nice.
And that does my power level and damage, right?
For strike, yes.
Which would be an 8.
Nice.
Alright, so that is a major success. And you do 8. You said 8 points of damage?
Yeah. Slashing, if that matters.
Okay. And the android has got a strength of... Let's see. Robot's got a strength of 6. The android's got a strength of 5. So it's got a total of 10 stamina then. And you just did... you said you did how much to it?
8.
Ooh.
Got his attention anyway.
So yeah, you tear it at the chest, and fake skin goes flying. Kind of falls off in strips from between where your finger swiped. You've opened up the chest. You can see machine stuff going on in there.
Right.
You've sliced through wires. There's sparks. It stumbles back and to your ear, it's almost like a scream, but it's probably just static coming through the speaker.
Okay.
Robots don't have feelings.
I don't know. In my Star Wars game, they've got their R2 unit that really, really wants to stab somebody. Runs around with a knife in its secret compartment.
There is a lot to unpack about droids, but we're on a time today.
That's true.
Oh yeah, we've got like an hour at this point. Is that right?
Yep. So we drop down to Puppet.
I stand back up. Gallantly.
Bear with me, guys. I am going to move my laptop into my bedroom where I can sit more comfortably.
Oh yes, by all means, man, by all means.
I apologize, but I'm not going to disconnect or anything. I'm right here.
All right, so Puppet. Yeah, because you've got your regeneration or something that would kick in, correct?
Rank 10 immortality. Which is, if I drop to 0 stamina, the next page I stand up.
How much stamina do you have when you stand up?
1. I just get to not be dead.
Weevils wobble, but they don't fall down. All right, so your immortality kicks in, and you spend your action standing back up.
Yep. My aura's still on. I'm ready to get grabbed and hurt something.
All right, so back at the top of the order with Transmutor.
All right. Of the 3 bots, now 2. How many are still active?
The one you've taken out is the only one that's been taken out.
Okay.
The android is heavily damaged, but it's still up. And all of the robots are now swarmed around Helios.
Ooh. Okay, so I guess, is that 4? Am I counting that right?
Yes. Or,
All right.
let's see, there was the one you took down. The one that attacked you that Helios jumped in front of. The 2 that ran up. Oh, wait, I've got one unaccounted for robot. I wonder where he wandered off to. Oh, well, y'all have to track him down at some point.
Oh boy. In any event, I'll try to vaporize one of the robots around Helios.
Okay.
See if I can return the favor.
All right, just pick you a target then.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, I did barely touch him.
You rolled garbage, but I rolled worse garbage.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You've got 8 ranks of it.
9.
I am just determined that I'm going to make that power 8 for some reason. So yes. What do you turn it into?
Well, let's do helium again.
Psst. And then it is Helios.
That's right.
I'm gonna radio into the rest of security that he said the android said something about wanting a .009 angstrom. What was it specifically?
Nanometer process.
Yeah, nanometer process, and there's possibly someone on the way to try and steal whatever that is. Do you have anything like that on site? And please send security down to showroom floor.
So Helios says all of that, but in a slightly squeaky voice, as one of the robots in front of him had just turned into helium.
And then I'm gonna take a swing on one of the remaining robots.
Okay. Oh, I beat it by 1. Alright. So you got a 10, robot got a 9. So you do full damage, and your strength is 7? Alright. Let's see, and that robot strength is a... Alright. So yeah, you leave a nice big dent in its chest plate, and it kind of rocks back on its heels, but manages to keep its balance. Then it is the android. Let's see. It sees Puppet get up, but Seth is right in front of him, so he's going to unload on Seth. So he got a 9 to shoot Seth. Oh, that's right. Curtis is still moving. So we will come back to him. So then we got 3 robots on Helios. Two of them are going to try to grapple you again. So that is a 6 effectively. So we need to beat an 11.
You would be able to pull that off. Oh, nice.
So Helios successfully uses the bob and weave. The other one steps around Helios and takes a swing for Transmuter. So that is a 7. All right, the Oxford Commandos training kicks in. Completely up to you, but I imagine Transmuter's arms coming up in a typical boxing pose. Because clearly the Oxford Commando would teach boxing.
Sure. Absolutely.
Probably with a lot of other stuff along with it.
You okay, Jason?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you not hear me?
Okay. You went very, very robot-y for a second, at least on mine.
Oh, okay. All right. So that is all the robots that y'all know of. Basically, in the melee, one of them ran past you and further into the hall. All right. So now we drop down to androids, robots. Are you back with us, Curtis? Oh, that may have been him plugging in right then.
Hello.
Hey!
Ah, yes. All right. So you have been shot at by a android.
Rude.
Yeah, it was quite rude. And you needed to beat a... Shoot, which of those rolls was the android rolling? This is the android. A 9 was what you needed to beat.
And I did not.
Alrighty. And that is a massive success. And this was a shot from the android whose strength is 5. So 5 points of damage. Because you used your strike, but you didn't go into full shadow form, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So 5 points of damage, unless you've got some kind of armor or something that I'm just not
I
remembering.
do have the some damage resistance.
Okay.
It's not a lot, but
We'll take whatever it is off then, because this is just a punch.
yeah.
And then give me a strength roll to see if he knocks you down. Ooh, gotta beat a 10.
Ooh.
Probably not going to do it. In fact, I don't think I can.
Alright, so he beats
I
you
am
by
knocked
1.
down.
Which I believe with the slam, beating you by 1 like that, I'm pretty certain is just a, just knocked you prone.
But at least I got a good look in before I got knocked down.
Oh, yeah.
Take what we can get.
Alright, so yes. So yeah, y'all see Seth take a good lick and get knocked down. Clearly not knocked out or anything, you know. Just hit hard enough that he kind of loses his balance, falls back. We had skipped dealing with that attack and gone through everybody else's round, so we are down to Seth's turn now.
Okay. I get back up.
All right. You get knocked down, but you get up again.
That's right.
And Puppet.
Well, the Chumbawamba really doesn't have enough attitude for Seth.
I was headed towards the android,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll go ahead and attempt to engage it.
All right. You try and touch him.
Yep. Just trying to throw hands with it a little bit.
It is prowess. It got an 8.
Completely missed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh well, such is life. I'm at least going to be in its face about it.
Off in the distance behind you, in the more in like the main convention hall, you hear what sounds like electrical discharges.
That's not great.
Do we know what kind of weaponry, if any, the regular security detail had with them?
They really didn't go over that with you.
Well, we probably should have checked just to...
Oopsie.
So top of the order with transmuter.
All right. Can I see where those discharges are coming from?
Sure. Give me an awareness roll because there is a crowd back there.
Okay. Awareness roll.
Okay, so that's a 9 versus a 6. So you look back, any gaps in the crowd. Sure enough, it's the security guys. A couple of them have some kind of hinky-looking rifles that seem to be discharging electricity, and then some of them have almost like cattle prods that they're kind of running and poking at it. That seem to be doing electrical stuff.
Okay. Can I see, presumably, the bot that is...
It seems to be locked up.
Oh, like they've got it pinned down?
Well, it's like the discharges are... You don't know if it's just shocking the system or if they're like EMPing it or what is going on, but the robot seems to lock up anytime they hit with one of them.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I will, perhaps inadvisably, but I'll trust them to be able to handle that one bot between the three of them, and I will... I know, I'm trusting... Yeah, well, I don't want to... Yeah, I guess I'll try to, at least for now, vaporize yet another one of the bots around Helios. Is it still 3 or 2 of them?
I believe there are 3 of them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try it again.
Nice.
No, there's 2 of them on him now because you have vaporized the second one. That's why he was talking in the high pitched voice.
All right. Well, I'll keep it up.
Another one disappears. More helium for Helios.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
I suspect that's baby related. Alright, so that was... We'll come back to Helios. Let's see, since the android knocked Seth back away from him, he's going to try to shoot Seth this time.
I'm back.
Oh, that didn't take very long.
Misheard.
Alright. In that case, Helios, it is your go.
I'm gonna land the last remaining robot.
Okay. He got a 6.
And I got an 8.
Okay, let's see. I think you had punched one of them. Yeah, you had punched this guy earlier. For 7. Alright, so you hit that spot you weakened earlier, and this time your hand kind of goes through the torso of the robot, lifts up off the ground slightly, and then you yank your hand out and it just falls to the ground. Sparks, a little bit of smoke, a little bit of robot twitching. And then its eyes dim.
The way you describe that makes me feel a little bit bad about doing that.
And that was without me even doing a cutaway. So like the mama robot, the little baby robot asking where daddy is. It had occurred to me to do that, but I thought, no, that's too much. There was a scene in Ice Pirates that traumatized me as a child. Alright. So I think that is all the robots down. Technically, security is still zapping one of them. And then, like I said, the android is going to shoot at Seth. Oh, wait, but Puppet just walked right up to him, didn't he?
Yep. Missed, but did walk up right to him and try to hit him.
But Seth is the one that has done serious damage to him. He doesn't know if Puppet can do much anything yet. So, still going to shoot at Seth.
Alrighty.
And you need to be... Yeah, can't talk. You need to beat a 9. Alright, so you take a shot, and it does 4 points of damage.
Okay.
Minus
Still
whatever
up.
your... Yeah, minus your resistance or whatever. Then that was a robot. Then it is android. Robots are gone, so that is Seth's turn.
Okay. I am gonna take a swing at him again.
All right. That is an 8 and an 8. That's a tie. And your strike does 8 points of damage.
Yes. That's
Alright,
8
so-
points of damage.
So with a tie, that's 4. But he only had 2 left. So yeah, when you take it the second swing, that robotic head just goes rolling.
Nice.
Take that.
Interestingly, the body does not fall limp. It just stands there. But
Like a rock'em sock'em robot.
But it's maintaining its balance. And you hear a bunch of more electronic discharges, and finally one of the guys, you hear one of the security guys say, "All right, I think we got it." Do we have a robotics expert here that can make sure this thing's permanently disabled?
I have technology.
So Helios goes running up as like 4 or 5 guys from some of the surrounding booths also run up.
All right.
And for the record, I'm not in costume. I'm still wearing this oversized lab coat, a very high quality but hideous looking wig, and just the thickest glasses you've ever seen.
So I'll just stand there watching and talk to people. Going, by the way, do you want to invest in our undead Butler research?
Nobody's paying it.
I will turn and go.
we
no,
call
no.
him
The-
Uber.
Nope. I walk up to Seth and just gently put my shoulder on. The cover's blown. We're in hero mode now. We're the primes again, buddy.
So y'all watch as Helios and these other high-tech guys, go over this robot like a bunch of, nerdy piranhas. Pieces go flying. Go ahead and give me a
Almost.
tech roll, Zach.
Sure. Nice.
Pretty good. You all knew that that Helios did app programming and stuff as his day gig, but he really seems to be holding his own in here. Talking the science crap with these other super science guys.
He really is a nerd.
So yeah, y'all get it disabled. There's no like self-destruct. Well, there is a self-destruct device, but not like a big explosion. Just something that would like fry the internals. And poking around there, you see you find the power source. It's a real energy dense kind of battery. Definitely not something available on like the standard market.
Ooh.
And it's got transmitters and receivers and it's got sensory apparatuses, but it's pretty much in the you're pretty sure it's in the human norm. Maybe some like low light stuff, but nothing. No like telescopic vision or X-raying things. One or two of the guys comment on on the fact that this seems like Professor Mechanical's work.
Yeah, it's either him or somebody using his technology.
Maybe a son.
One of the other nerds, I'll just call them nerds, comments on the fact that the transmitter and receiver is still receiving a signal.
Seth, could you do me a favor?
Sure.
Could you go absolutely smash the android, just absolutely mess it up, like turn it into a scrap pile?
Oh hell yeah.
I'm sorry, why are we doing that?
I'm suspicious about the fact that it stayed standing after getting its head knocked off.
Well, I mean, yeah, chances are most of the important electronic components are going to be in the chest area, but like, doesn't mean we can't still use it.
No, the android, not the robot
and
we're
while
currently
Puppet's
poking.
trying to be reasonable, Seth will have grown Reg, and they'll both be smashing the robot. Unless you're going to stop him.
I'm specifically talking about the one that you fought outside, not the one we're working on.
Okay. So yeah. So I'm picturing Seth and Reginald out there going at that poor android like the flying monkeys on the Scarecrow. Just parts being showered.
Pretty much.
And has a signal stopped?
No, the robot you're working on is still receiving signals. There's still a connection there.
Is there a way to trace them back? To with what we have here, is there a way we can trace it back to a transmitter?
A couple of the guys working with you jump up and run back to their booths. Another one runs deeper into the hall, and shortly thereafter comes back with another guy and some equipment. One of them like clears off his booth, and y'all are using that as a workbench. A couple of they look like common convention goers, but once they're up there, they identify themselves as spear operatives. Because it's just always good to have that an official eye in the place. And they handle like the local police. Well, actually, come to think of it, nobody here would have called the local police. Now that I think about it. But yeah, security kind of clears off stuff, and But you're basically the show for today at this convention. All right, but you said you were trying to track the signal.
Yes, sir.
All right, give me a. I almost said reason, but I believe it's intelligence in this game.
You could always send the villain a dramatic message.
Grow up. We're being a child. Stop stealing shit.
All right, so you got a 10. Woohoo, it's a tie.
Oh, nice.
However, you've got 11 people helping you, so I'd have to give you a +2. Because it is more than just you working on this.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're cobbling stuff together. They're talking about this, that, and then everybody. It ends with all of you standing around the computer screen, waiting for the computer to, follow the signal back. And it's it bounces through. The signal is being bounced through a few different satellites, some of which civilians aren't supposed to have access to. Though most of the guys working with you are already aware of the satellite, so it's not as big a secret. Maybe it's the government institution that it belongs to would like it to be. But the fact that you're using the robot itself, you're not just. It's not just you're not just picking the signal up with some other device. It's coming and going from this thing. And for whatever reason, the signal hasn't been shut off on the other end either. Eventually, they come up with latitude and longitude of where this signal is coming from.
Roughly whereabouts is it?
Transylvania.
Middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Well,
I was
kind
gonna
of
say
classic, but I
Branson.
don't like it.
So one of them just pulls up regular old Google Earth, types it in, and at the full pullback, it just looks like ocean. You don't even really see anything, and they start embiggening and embiggening and embiggening.
It's a private island.
It is a small island. Let's see. It is a small island with a small volcano.
Of course.
He's just a humble little boil on the Earth's surface.
It's even his birthday. You wouldn't invade a little island guy on his birthday, would you?
But like I said, it is pretty small. It is uninhabited. Well, I mean, clearly not uninhabited, but officially listed as uninhabited.
There's a bridge on that volcano. Someone's been there.
That is a precarious place to put what I'm assuming is a wooden rope bridge.
Well, it depends on how deep down the lava is. I mean, that angle is like looking straight down, so But it makes sacrificing people to the volcano super easy.
Does the volcano have Mechaniacal's face carved on the side?
No, he kept his face a secret.
2-bit hack.
I mean, Sharon's mom probably knows what it looks like, but unless they had tea with him in his full armor. I didn't think about that. The island is under disputed ownership. There's a couple of different countries that claim to own it. But nobody cares enough about it to have ever actually fought over it.
So a fantastic place to hide out for a long time.
Right. You know, nobody's ever going to say anything about this island unless the other person claiming to own it says something about, tries to do something with it. And you don't find that out sitting here at the con when you radio back to Sharon. Yeah, she does some deeper research on it. That's what she has come up with. After that, the con cleans everything up. Do y'all stay for the rest of the con, or are y'all going to continue your investigation?
I will go put a sorry notice at our secret stand stating that this was literally a security team undercover. Please do not take anything that was said at this stand seriously. Apologize for the inconvenience.
I'm gonna browse the show while also asking people about that Jeffrey Combs motherfucker from earlier.
We were gonna break through as supervillains, man.
Don't know who this we you're talking about is.
Yeah,
we're trying to. Go ahead. Sorry.
If you ask around about the creepy dude, yes, several people remember talking to him.
Anyone have a name? Known associate?
His name tag said Guy.
Oh, that's concerning.
But a lot of the name tags here are like that, where it's just kind of, either a very generic looking name or a code name or, because several of these people are like undercover superheroes, so,
We're doing things here of dubious legality and sometimes more dubious ethics. We're gonna keep it hush hush.
Yeah, like I said, the con is much more superhero and adjacent related, but superheroes do operate in kind of a nebulous zone.
At that time, Professor X used an alien AI for his teenage torture chamber.
Training facility. So anyway, you get, the thanks of the convention. They allow you to take the disarmed robot with you if you need to. Spear confiscates most of the stuff. They are willing to let you take the still, more or less functioning one, if you need it. If you think you need it for your investigation.
Probably won't hurt, and at minimum, it'll look really, really sweet in the trophy. Though we leave that part out.
I would like to continue to state my paranoia about taking anything into our secret base.
What could go wrong?
The super scientist that makes robots for unknown amount of time makes a robot that can look like it's deactivated, then reactivates in our secret base to tell people where we are.
But we're removing all the transmitters before we. We're removing all the transmitters before we take it out.
It's got a Trojan horse virus.
And that's why we're turning the Wi-Fi off at the base.
Alright. So what is the next step in your investigation?
I'm gonna say, basically just make a plan of attack for that island. Because it might be a booby trap, or it might actually be a secret lair.
Yeah, you can go either way,
Or both.
Sharon does tell you the volcano lairs were kind of a classic back in the day. An old style villain like Maniacal might not be able to resist.
I mean, I can't blame him. I mean, massive source of geothermal energy right there. You don't have to worry about, potential radiation poisoning. You just have to, manage the volcano's pressure. And
And they're just cool.
yeah,
All right, so y'all can pull up orbital satellite pictures of the place. And
are
you
there
see.
any?
Oh,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Are there any geological surveys of that island on record? That we can
The
pull up
most recent
legitimately,
one was
or-
in the 30s. The most recent record of anybody being there.
Alright.
They obviously did not find it all that interesting.
So it is a live volcano, but how live is it? Basically.
Within the last, let's see, it was noticed. The survey went out and checked it out after an eruption in the 30s. It has not erupted since then.
All right.
It does. It's active. It'll smoke a little bit every now and then, but it has not had like a full eruption, and it isn't really predicted to erupt anytime soon.
It erupts every 90 years.
It erupts anytime superheroes show up.
One of those drama-activated magma.
Yeah, you know. Like in Son of Kong. Oh yeah, the island just sinks the second time Europeans show up on it.
Conveniently.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Though from like the Google Earth, you can actually see you can actually see the remnants of a shipwreck off the coast.
Any record of what that vessel might have been?
No, it's an old wooden ship, so
Ah, okay.
super way
Okay.
back.
So not some lost shipping freighter.
No, nothing recent like that.
Nothing that says we're building a giant robotic ape on this island or anything like that.
No.
No mechanized Godzillas.
Well, I would actually like to see if I can't build an EMP device before we head to the base.
Well, that's clever.
Okay.
Or that be more directly under science, because technology and science are two separate specialties.
I would think this. I mean, I don't make the call, but I would think that sounds like technology to me.
Yeah. It's one of those I could kind of see either one of them doing.
Okay.
Let's see.
How many?
Though you're kind of power stunting the gadget power here.
That's
If you
fine.
have-
I have 2 determination points I can burn.
Okay.
Also, if you have 3 levels of specialization, I think that automatically entitles you to power stunts.
Yeah, if the stat is 7 or higher, or you've got 3 ranks, of the specialty, then you can use those for power stunting.
Neither are true. I have 2 ranks of technology, and yeah.
Okay, then it would probably take you longer than the time you've really got.
Ah.
But if you wanted to pump that specialty up before next time, yeah, you know.
All right.
Bear willing to hook us up?
I mean, yeah, I still have that one more minor achievement I can pop in there.
If that's what you want to spend it on, I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to lean more into Helios's technical knowledge,
I might. We'll decide. Like I have notions of what I want to spend future improvements on, but we'll come to that whenever it comes to that.
all right. In that case, if y'all are ready to go, Sharon loads you up in the sedan. Y'all take off.
Yep.
So you come in and approaching the island.
Is there a name for this island?
Not really anything official that you can find record of.
I think just like a survey number.
Yeah, that's really about it.
The answer is no. It's island no.
But anyways, you're approaching the southern end of the island. Alarms start going off in the cockpit.
I can promise you Seth is not piloting, but
No, Sharon's piloting. She always pilots. Not letting the kids drive. You insane?
we haven't earned that right yet, I guess.
But the computer says there. Sharon immediately looks down. Everybody buckle up. Computer says there's a lock on, but I'm not seeing.
Crap! Invisible missiles.
I was about to say, didn't they say that they was taking some stealth technology?
Crap.
Cut on a
And she
sensor
just
for
dives.
radiation.
Do what now?
Cut on a sensor for radiation. Since we know it produces radiation, maybe he didn't fix that problem.
All right. Give me an awareness roll, puppet.
Well,
I'm going to turn into
Or-
shadow form and
or is-
tighten my seatbelt.
Or is puppet just going to suggest this is other people to try?
I suggest this to other people using my intellect to go. Maybe he didn't fix the radiation.
All right. So if somebody else wants to make an awareness roll, make an
Yes,
awareness
I am
roll.
going to sprint up to the cockpit and try and see if we have that as a function on our sensors.
All right. So give me an awareness roll, but you can add your technology to it.
Yay! Yes! Yes!
Oh, and you lucked out because I rolled a 1, so it's a total of a 6. So that's a massive success. So yes, with puppet suggestion, you're not picking. It's not a lot of energy. It's not something you'd have noticed probably without the fact that you were specifically looking for radiation. And basically, the fact that Sharon dove the vehicle, the sedan, as soon as y'all had said something, you realize those missiles had probably passed right over where y'all were, and they're like turning around. Sharon looks at you. Helios. Well, all of you. Get on the bomb bay door. Which is what Sharon calls the little teleporter pad that y'all go up and down, where she does the little short range teleport to get you in and out of the ship.
What about you?
I'm just gonna kick in the afterburner to try to get out of here. I want y'all on the island trying to track down where this guy is.
Understood, but you are not allowed to die. I would be a terrible uncle if you died on a mission, alright?
We're acting like the adults now. It's so fun. Everyone to the gates.
So yeah, y'all get over there, and she's skimming, maybe 7 foot over the beach. Y'all port down to the sand. Sand, from where the vehicle is run by. Sand. The sand is all kicked up. And then you see her kind of arc up, take off. You can't really see it, but you hear the missiles zip by. They're making in some ways, a kind of a similar noise that the sedan makes when it's flying. Like they're using some kind of anti-grav technology as opposed to chemical thrusters. Because you can make a missile invisible, but if it's shooting fire out the back end, that's going to be kind of rough.
Yeah.
So you see the sedan take off. The sedan takes off, and what's got to be a couple of miles out, you suddenly see it dip down. And then a couple of seconds after that, there's a couple of explosions go off close together.
As in the missiles hit each other, or
Hopefully the missiles hit each other. Hopefully.
Also, if she got far enough away, they would lost lock and would have probably just dipped into the ocean.
yeah.
I'm sure that's what it is.
I'm gonna try and raise Sharon on the comms.
You don't get a response.
I don't.
No.
We're way too far away.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to drop Helios's token on the map here, but that's just kind of representing where y'all where y'all are on the island.
This totally not super irradiated island.
Totally not.
It's
Totally
been
not.
holding irradiated missiles.
I mean, I might be immune to cancer.
Look, the invisibility harness technology, it's not like it microwaved you as soon as you put it on. The Red Ghost was using it for several years, before he started noticing the tumors.
This guy's been gone for like a decade and a half.
So anyway, you're on the southern tip of this island. You've got a little bit of jungle area. Though from the last survey of this place, there was really like no predators listed. Very few animals seem to be native to the island. There were a few wild pigs. Probably dropped off by somebody, or maybe even from the shipwreck. Who knows? But nothing substantial. Like I said, it's a very small island.
Y'all ready to go Lord of the Flies?
I'd hope we have better composure than a bunch of English schoolboys, Seth.
Speak for yourself.
That's fair. At the same time, I think you'd be cheating in that situation. But
All right, so y'all are standing on the beach, cut off from all civilization.
suppose we make our way towards the most obvious spot to make a lair in the universe.
The volcano.
The sunken ship. Oh, the volcano.
I mean, the sunken ship is optional too, but
Well, I mean, obviously the volcano has an underground elevator that goes to an underwater base with the sunken ship.
I mean, clearly, I guess the sunken ship is clearly the escape hatch.
Right.
It's where the shark-shaped sub is kept.
Yeah, the best place to put a boat is in another boat. We all know this.
All right, so y'all
Jokes
started.
on us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so y'all started advancing up through the jungle area.
Mm.
It's thick enough; it should hide you from sight anyway.
Seth will, wrap his shirt around his head like a turban, and he'll, use his shadow strike blade to chop underbrush. He's just, living in the moment.
I'll just put a force field around myself and allow things to bend around it.
I tell Seth to save his energy, but gosh darn it, he's just having so much fun.
Is he humming the Indiana Jones tune? Dun, 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 dun.
I just reminded myself that I can't affect organic materials, so
Oh, really?
yeah, I have to make a pathway the old-fashioned way.
Is it organic materials or living materials?
I'm pretty sure it's living materials.
Because technically, organic material is anything with carbon. So
Right. Yep, non-living.
okay. Well, I was going to transmute that steel sword coming at me, but it's high carbon steel.
Damn.
So yeah, y'all advance up, and a few little animals scattering here and there. No signs of like any kind of human habitation. When you reach the kind of the midpoint of the island, there's kind of a ridge up. It's overgrown, but the going from the south to the north in the center of the island, it is going up and up and up until you get to the volcano, and then the
Excuse me.
cliffs around the volcano are pretty sheer down to that little bit of beach.
If anyone needs a lift up the cliffs, they can just grab onto my back, and I'll just dig my hands and feet into the side and scale up that way.
Okay. Well, y'all have all had training, so if Helios kind of brute forces his way up, that leaves plenty of handholds and footholds for everybody else.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, as Puppet climbs, it's times like this I do miss the flying.
How stable was your flying, if you can remember it all?
State to state, within an hour was capable. It was one of my better features, honestly.
That must be nice. It's kind of hit or miss with me.
I never
Still
had to
trying
pay
to
for
figure out
gas.
why.
It's pretty nice.
Okay, not gonna lie, now I'm extremely jealous.
Well, I'm glad someone was.
So y'all scale up the side. Seth, you're the last one to climb up. You're waiting at the bottom.
I can climb. I think I've got wall crawling in shadow form, so I shouldn't have
Okay.
much trouble.
Maybe you wait down there to catch anybody that falls. Then.
Sure.
But you hear a voice behind you. The accent is. It's not exactly British, but it kind of makes you think British. But what they say to you is, "There's a darkness in you, boy."
I ain't the one talking British. I've seen Star Wars. All the Brits are bad guys.
I assure you.
Just,
What's that?
does Puppet catch any of this with the super senses?
Yes, you probably would.
Okay, well, good. It's not in his head, at least.
I'll look behind me to see if I see anything.
There's someone standing in and amongst the foliage. By which I mean some of the foliage is sticking through him. Where you're in your shadow form and kind of completely just dark, this guy looks like a faded out white. He's faded out white. His clothing is faded out white. And he is dressed like the... What would be a good... Oh, can't do that. The map on. The first thing you think of Seth when you see him is the Quaker Oats guy.
The what guy?
The Quaker Oats guy.
Oh, okay.
He's dressed very old fashioned. He's got kind of the ruffly shirt.
Kind of a Puritan.
Now the hat's more of a tri-corner hat, but I don't know how into history Seth was.
Early American hat.
The one of his shoes you can see has got a buckle on it.
But only one?
Well, like I said, he's standing kind of phased in some of the foliage, so it's
well,
one
I
of the.
only see one
Yeah,
of
you
the
only
shoes.
see one of the shoes.
I'm thinking of the guy from the meme. The Dost Thou guy. If that rings a bell to him.
I just sort of whistle. It's like, dude, I thought I liked old music.
Are you daft? What does music have to do with this?
Here, let me think of some comic dialogue. Whoever you are, I'm just saying you need to catch up with the times.
Hard to do on this island. Are you hero or villain? Two of you
Maybe I'm a little of both.
look like the costume champions that I'm familiar with. But then there is you and the corpse.
Hey, don't be judging, dead brother.
At that point, I'll look back at him too.
Far be it from me to judge a man simply because he's dead. But you don't look the typical heroes. A man made of darkness, or a man made of shadow that I can feel the darkness in Frankenstein's creature.
Well, am I at a distance? I can talk to him?
You could shout down.
It's like, brother, sister, and dead brother are good people.
And you?
I was kind of shrug.
You're trying to be. It's commendable. Over the radio to you.
Well, you're honest. I'll have to give you that. And he steps out of the foliage. He still looks all transparent, oh God! Just occurred to me, Seth's the right age that Cartoon Network would have still been playing old cartoons when he was a little kid. But I am not going to bring up the Funky Phantom.
Well, you just brought him up.
I know, I couldn't resist. But anyway. Do you have a way off of this island?
We did?
Did? That does not sound encouraging. And you say you're all siblings.
Are you?
I am Bruce Carter the First.
Wait a minute.
Do we know a Bruce Carter?
Bruce
what the
Carter
school's
the
named
Third was the name of the school from the first chapter.
Oh, good
Oh, okay.
memory.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we had known a Bruce Carter, but I couldn't remember where.
Yeah, it was the name of the school. Bruce Carter the Third Academy.
Jason going kind of public domain with this one. I approve.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, he tells you his name. The name probably doesn't mean anything to you, though. But he tells you he's been stuck on this island for some time.
Now I'm confused because I don't think you have anything to do with our mission.
What is your mission?
We're hunting some. Y'all can chime in too. I think y'all are close enough. It's like we're hunting some evil robot dudes.
I've not seen anything like that in the jungle. Though I've not ventured too far from this place. You're headed north. Are you headed towards the volcano?
Yeah, that's where we're headed, to the volcano. Where else are you going to build an evil robot lair?
Does he know what robots are?
He doesn't ask what they are, so maybe he's hiding his ignorance. Well, I'm certainly familiar with mountaintop layers. I suppose volcanoes are just as logical. You could probably set up a steam engine for power. And as for Helios and Transmuter up, standing up on the top, you probably can't overhear this unless Seth has got his comms on where you can. Puppet can because of his enhanced senses.
And I'll be relaying what this poor ghost is telling us.
Did you say ghost?
Yeah.
I assume
it's
him to be a ghost. He phased through physical objects.
Yeah, I think it's a ghost.
And also, like, the third of his generation's alive. Yeah. Puppet would know about the school.
Okay.
So, yeah. Just
Remind me to tell Grandma
thinking
niece
about
that her
the
intelligence
backstory.
gathering's not so good. She didn't tell us the island was haunted.
I doubt anyone would know. No one that I know of has been here since I and my grandson arrived.
Have you seen any unusual activity beyond? Well, if you haven't seen it, if your new friend hasn't seen anyone since his arrival, probably not. How exactly did your new friend get trapped here? If he's okay answering that question.
Do you relay that question to him, Seth?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Or just to make this simple, Carter suggests the two of you, ascend to where the rest of your family is.
Yeah, that's.
Since he looks up, everybody's standing at the edge looking down at y'all anyway. So, Seth, you said you could wall crawl up.
Go ahead.
Carter just sort of floats up.
Oh, I see.
Hey guys, I found a ghost friend.
No.
He tips his hat.
Helios waves.
Excuse me. He tips his hat to the men. He kind of takes off and does a little bow to Transmuter.
I guess I'll curtsy with my non-existent skirt.
He kind of looks you over. You're all siblings? You don't really favor.
Our parentage is a little complicated.
We're halvesies.
Oh boy.
Our father really got around.
He was going through some issues at the time.
Oh,
The loss of his first wife.
Oh, I see. At first, when his father really got around. Oh, you mentioned the loss of his first wife. Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Tragedy can. Some people cope with tragedy in different ways.
Could have told us about each other, but
That would have been a long discussion. It's not just us four, you know that.
That's true.
Who is your father?
Someone who was very important. And
I'm sorry.
I'm guessing a little past your time.
Yeah, your grandson knew about him. But that would probably been past the point at which you would naturally wear the clothes you are currently wearing.
Well, I wear these clothes because I died in them. If you're ashamed to name your father, that is fine.
It's just something we're trying to keep under wraps for security purposes.
I
If
understand.
anyone's listening in, they've probably already been able to piece together who our father.
We do think this is the secret hideout of a super scientist, so... And the missiles being fired off certainly helped that suspicion.
I heard a strange noise overhead. I didn't see anything though.
That's a bastard of it. He or they have cobbled together disparate technologies to create invisible weaponry.
Which may mean also the building we're looking for could be invisible.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Hmm. If I may ask, where are you from? I didn't recognize your accents. Oh no, hang on. Let me roll that back. I forgot when this guy was active. Never mind. He asked you if you're American.
We're from the United States, yes.
So they stood against the Axis.
Despite certain political pressures within the country, yeah, we had issues. We still ended up having issues. Yes.
Oh, excellent. My grandson was battling them before we were stranded here.
There's a good chance he would have fought alongside our father.
Ah, so your father was one of the heroes of the war. All right.
Puppet chuckles a bit as we keep walking.
I would like to help you in your mission, provided that you would help my grandson.
Do you know his location? If he's still alive, even?
Oh, yes, he's here on the island.
I know that's a hard question to ask.
Yeah. You seem like a good lot. He kind of side-eyed Seth, mostly.
And he said that his grandson was still on the island?
Yes.
Didn't we see his grandson in the high school?
Mm-mm. The high school was named after there was this really old lady that was funding the school. Her fiance died in the war. Was what the kids were told.
Gotcha.
You know, her fiance died. She inherited his fortune because going off to war, he'd already written her into his will. You know, he was the last of his line, so it wasn't like there was any, competing claim. So he leads you over this way, and behind some underbrush here, there's a small cave in another one of those cliff, little step-up cliff faces. I just realized I did not get any art prepared to show you guys what he looks like. Oops. Oh well. Now he's not moving the brush aside. He just kind of walks through the brush that's covering covering what up close you can tell is a cave entrance behind it, not just shadow. Please, this way.
What kind of help does your grandson need?
Transportation off this island and back to the United States. Preferably New York. That's his home state.
Just for the record, does your grandson have the same name as you?
He is well, yes, he. I'm his namesake. Well, as I was his father's namesake.
So he's the third.
Yes.
All right.
And if y'all push through the brush, you enter a cave. Not a lot of light in the cave, but I'm sure your comms at least have lights like cell phones do. And let me pull up. I can at least show the people watching what this guy looks like. And on the ground at the back of the cave, there's a man laying there, clearly in a costume, with a cloak, basically like a cloak wrapped around him. Looks like almost like the same cloak that the ghost is wearing. He's got the little buckle shoes. He's got a domino mask. And next to his head is sitting one of those tricorder hats. Also kind of like the ghost.
But he's not, like, dead, right?
He doesn't look dead.
Cool, I just want to make sure the ghost isn't walking me to a dead body.
But he looks old, doesn't he?
Not particularly.
Okay.
I mean, he's older than Seth. I mean, he's 35, 45, somewhere in that range.
Not as old as the old lady from that has all of his money.
No, not that Seth would know that, but no.
Do any of us recognize this particular costume?
It stands to reason that some of you might have looked into superhero history. Any of you potentially, especially Helios and Transmuter, as they were actively training to be superheroes. But anybody that wants to give me an intelligence roll can do so.
Yeah, just because my character quit doesn't mean he wasn't training at least for a while.
Yeah. That's a 9, a 5, a 9, another 9. Yeah, y'all pretty quickly piece together that you are looking at the Fighting Yank.
Oh.
My God, this man's a legend.
But he doesn't exactly have a way off this island, this set.
No, he does not have a way off the island.
Is he sleeping, or is he in some sort of hibernative state?
We disabled a secret weapon that the Japanese had created. That they're shoot, what was the secret project? What? Oh well, I forget what the project number was. Real history thing, but anyway, he tells you his grandson had disabled a secret weapon, a sort of flying battleship that a mad genius had created for the Japanese. And this island, it would, dropped it in the middle of the ocean. This island was the closest place, and the only place he could get to before he would have collapsed from exhaustion. He could fly. He was not a fast flyer. He was not a fast enough flyer to cover transoceanic, distances. And when it became obvious that he wouldn't be found quickly, I caused him to fall into the sleep you see here.
We'll try to do everything in our power to make sure he gets on.
Will you still be here when he wakes up so that you can help explain this without him attacking us?
We may as well do it now. He gives a real sharp snap of his fingers, and you see the yank kind of give a jerk. But he starts to sit up. He sees all of y'all and kind of leaps to his feet. You see his grandfather kind of hold out his hand. He looked up, sire. Oh, is this a rescue team? And he starts kind of stretching, reaches down,
It's
picks
the
up
year
his hat.
4000. Androids have taken over the world, and you're the only one who can save
No,
them.
stop, please do not. Do not play a prank on a man who's just woke up after being asleep for a long time. Do not take Rip Van Winkle and mess him up.
The world was run by damn dirty apes.
No.
There are
I mean,
so many
technically we
times
are.
in my life I'm gonna be able to get to do this, puppet.
Oh, jeez.
It doesn't excuse being mean to a war veteran. Of one of the wars that I can agree we should have gone into.
He's long, Rip Van Winkle.
It's
I'm
a
awful
bit of
stiff, but doesn't seem like I've been asleep that long.
about 80 years, give or take.
Oh, yeah. It is currently past the year 2000.
You're freaking Buck Rogers, man.
He just sort of looks at you. Because, he potentially would actually have heard of Buck Rogers.
He could have.
And he just looks at his grandfather. How was I asleep that long? What did you do? And the ghost looks almost sheepish. There was no way to escape the island. I simply made you sleep, and then I kept watch for any potential rescue. At which point the Yankees like, well, I've got to get off the island. I've got to get home.
Oh, not so fast, cowboy. There's a situation on the island, and I just rapidly fill him in on the situation.
Yeah.
With,
Unfortunately, we're here hunting a villain who has secret weapons.
Massive coincidence that just also happened to be the island that you were on.
Grandfather might not be the best watcher because he missed it.
I mean, everything might be invisible. Like, we could have walked past numerous outposts. They probably know we're already here. There might be invisible death robots coming at us. We don't know. We are very sorry this is the situation you got woken up into.
It is better than the alternative, though. I can assure you of that.
I mean,
He kind of looks at you. Oh, I guess you might have some experience with that.
It's more fun than sleeping.
But then he looks at his grandfather and asks him if Joan is still alive. And his grandfather has no idea.
She built a school in your honor.
Oh, she must have thought I died.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure everyone did.
Yeah.
Oh crap, we're past 3:30. I needed to shut down early.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
Great.
Sorry about that.
To be continued.
Yeah, I hate to make this a to be continued because there wasn't that much left. Oh well, we'll wrap it up. Beginning of next, maybe at the beginning of next issue and get into the next thing. So yes, yeah. Bruce has some trouble, he wants off the island immediately, but you explain the mission to him, and he understands that, okay, yeah, it's attacking people, we got to do something. So we will wrap here with y'all exiting this cave that he's been in for the last however many years. Last 70 years, 80 years, whatever. And we will pick up next time. Hope y'all had fun. I enjoyed it. Should probably have used less robots in that first encounter, though. But anybody that comes by and watches later or listens to it later, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope you'll show up in 2 weeks when we do this again.
Same icons time, same icons channel.
Like I said before, I've been your GM, Jason, and with me today has been Curtis as Sethagua. Mike is Transmuter.
Good day, everyone.
Zach is Helios.
Have a good night.
And Taylor as Puppet.
See you.